G'day fellas, my name is Wildkard, welcome back. I almost said Six Nations. Super Rugby round 6. Okay, Super Rugby round 6, Chiefs versus Crusaders. This was actually again played at Orange Theory Stadium. I'm pretty sure 100% it's played at Orange Theory. I recognize the stands. I'm pretty sure the commentator mentioned it as well. Despite the fact that it says it's at FMG Stadium, they swapped it around the locations between this one and the previous game that was put a couple weeks ago due to, obviously COVID reasons. And this was a game in front of a crowd, a lot of good atmosphere, and the Crusaders showed the Chiefs, who's the top dog in the league once again. So last time the two teams met, the Crusaders actually lost to the Chiefs 24 points to 21, I believe. And the Chiefs was able to basically squeeze out a win. I think late in the game to beat the Crusaders, it was kind of like almost a situation of the Crusaders choked in the second half, where the Chiefs were just dominant over the Crusaders convincingly, and was eventually able to break through with extra points, putting themselves ahead. So this game, Crusaders came out with a bit of vengeance, came out with a stronger lineup than they did last time, had more of their All Blacks players back. I think last time Scott Barrett wasn't playing, so Scott Barrett's back for this game. And I think Seville Reese didn't play as well last game, and Seville Reese came off the bench, made a huge boost to the Crusaders lineup as well. So the Chiefs was actually maybe got, bit too far ahead of themselves a little bit. Last week came out and beat the Moana Pacifica with their reserve team, right? It was due to their availability issues, and they were still able to absolutely dominate Moana Pacifica. A huge scoreline, record-breaking win over the Moana Pacifica. So a lot of people were talking about how the Chiefs is going to be the new Crusaders, how they're going to be the next big team. This one, Crusaders came out this week and kind of just stifle that thought out of the park, right? Punted it out of the park. And this was quite a I guess, controlled win for the Crusaders. Whilst they did win at home, the Crusaders did look a bit rusty, maybe due to the illness. There was, a little bit of you can see that the lineouts, the more is a little bit disrupted. The play is a little bit off as well. The Crusaders, a little bit of handling error here and there. Some of the All Blacks players, uncharacteristic drop balls, Scott Barrett. And then, obviously, the Chiefs are also looking a bit rusty coming out of the COVID as well. A little bit of drop ball here and there. And also the execution for both teams were the Chiefs had a couple of opportunities where they were open wide to score tries, and the players knocked on the ball at least twice in this game. From the top of my head, they could have scored. Someone makes a break, all they had to do is link up with their support runner, and the support runner drops the ball, right? It was really painful to watch in those situations. And then again, the Crusaders were really able to manage well, really able to control the game. I thought the Crusaders were able to, I guess, control the game a lot better to the pace that they wanted to play, whereas the Chiefs found themselves constantly trying to push a little bit quicker, and kind of putting themselves out of the rhythm that is suitable for them a little bit. And then that kind of led to a bunch of results and mistakes that was made by the Chiefs team. And in the end, Crusaders was able to pull ahead due to just being a little bit more clinical overall through the match. So let's have a look at the match stats. 3 tries for the Chiefs, 5 to the Crusaders. 400 run meters for the Chiefs, 541 for the Crusaders. Turnovers conceded, Crusaders 18 turnovers. Surprisingly more than the Chiefs. And in fact, both the turnover numbers are pretty high for, the level of rugby we're talking about here. Both teams are, Super Rugby, two of the top teams in Super Rugby this year, having pretty high turnovers for both teams is a sign. I thought the clunkiness, maybe the rust was left over from COVID a little bit. Tackle count, 138 for the Chiefs, 22 missed tackles, 152 for the Crusaders, 27 missed tackles. Kicks in play, Crusaders, like I said, really managed the game well. 34 kicks, 20 to the 26. I would say won the kicking game convincingly. It was pretty, especially with Will Jordan, Richie Mwanga. I thought the high balls from the Crusaders, number 9, the box kicks weren't that great, but Richie Mwanga and Will Jordan was able to kind of I would say, make up for that front with their spectacular kicking. 2 missed conversion by Richard Mo'unga. I thought both missed kicks, something that he probably would have got, a couple years ago, just in 2020, where he looked invincible, like he can't miss. So his kicking, again, seems to be a trend for all the All Blacks number 10s. They start off with almost perfect kicking and then just slowly drops off as the year goes on. I'm not sure what's going on there. Something you are feeding them in the food or something in those training camps. What's going on there? We see the same thing with Bode and Barrett. I saw his kicking was like almost perfect and just starts to decline to like 50%, 60%. But anyway, the Rocks 84, 82 lineouts. Both teams struggled a little bit with the lineouts, bit rusty. 7 lineouts for the Chiefs, only 1 lost. Crusaders, 3 lineout lost. They did not have Sam Wildkard playing this game, but Scott Barrett was on the field. You would expect a little bit better with Scott Barrett. Bit rusty there for the Scot. And then penalties conceded, 8 for the Chiefs, 4 for the Crusaders. Much, much better in those penalty count. Much more disciplined on the breakdowns. Like I said, managing the games just a little bit better overall to squeeze out. I would say this is a win that was, really hard fought for the Crusaders team. The Chiefs were right in it all the way till the end of the game. So right from the start, Colin Grace goes in for a first try for the Crusaders. 7 minutes of the game, Crusaders was really strong coming out of the gate, in control of the match. And then Chiefs was, swinging back on the fences. They didn't look like they're out of the game. Nankivell scores a try for the Chiefs 11 minutes into the game. And then he was kind of looking like a tiptoe going on between the two teams. And then Will Jordan, and it was looking like Chiefs was trying to kind of like pressure them, like impose himself on the Crusaders a bit. And Will Jordan gets the ball, kind of just, completely stifles some momentum with his second try, 17 minutes of the game. And then after that, both teams kind of end up a bit of a stalemate for the first half, and no tries were scored. The Crusaders, however, did able to get 1 penalty goal just before the 30-minute mark, and that's it. That's pretty much it. Oh yeah, sorry. And the Chiefs gets a penalty for themselves just before halftime, and that's it. The game. Sorry, not a penalty. Gets a try just before halftime. The game was a bit of a stalemate all the way till the end of the first half. So Nankivell goes in the second try just before halftime. And halftime score, the two teams were separated by just, I think it was 2 points. I think it was 12 points to 15. Where the 3 points, where the Chiefs were just difference between the penalty kicks. Both goal kickers has missed 1 conversion at halftime. Second half, so pretty much even at halftime. Some of the key indicators is that the Crusaders were struggling with lineouts a little bit, already starting to show 2 lineouts lost at halftime, but the penalty count was mounting up against the Chiefs. 6 penalties to the Crusaders 3. Something really hurt them in the first half to be able to. And also Crusaders was leading in run meters. Almost doubling the run meters, over 200 for the Crusaders, and Chiefs just over 100 at halftime. Second half starts, both teams kind of coming out really strong, trying to impose their will. Crusaders strategically made their substitutions early. Xavier Reese gets on the field, and immediately you can feel his impact. He was on like the breakdowns. He was just really, really like hard on the ball, hard on the chase, and it was really being a nuisance for the against the Chiefs, right? And sure enough, he gets the reward. 15 minutes into the second half, Severis kind of gets the ball on the wing. He runs up. He had a 1-0 play out wide. He slips through a little of a gap. The fullback comes up. He just dummied the fullback, and fullback completely sold on the dummy, and he just steps in field, runs right through under the goalpost, and and he just immediately felt the bench making a difference for the Crusaders. I think they were talking about the Crusaders had like 3 All Blacks or something, or more than that coming off the bench. Let's have a look. Actually, there's just so many like top tier players coming off the bench for the Crusaders. Yeah, George Bauer, obviously Xavier Reese. Was it Drummond? I don't think Drummond was. Who was the other one? I think was it Drummond actually I don't think Drummond was starting for the Crusaders. Anyway, George Bauer definitely an All Black. So yeah, they were just immediately, especially Xavier Reese, made a huge impact right off the bat. And then also the Will Jordan apparently had 3 breakdown turnovers assigned to him. This match was just huge work rate for Will Jordan. Just he can do just about everything in this game: kicking, running, scoring tries. and he's showing that he can turn over the ball as well this game. Was quite spectacular work. The Chiefs was under the pump in second half quite a lot. Clearly, like the Crusaders were able to really disrupt that rhythm quite a bit. It's becoming more and more evident. Fainga Anuku, 62 minutes into the game, gets the 4th try for the Crusaders. And then Chiefs finally starting to kind of feel like they're under a lot of pressure. Ratima responds just like a few minutes later on the 70th minute. This was just a pretty classic kind of try for the Chiefs. A player, I think it was their center, kind of gets the ball, runs through a bunch of forwards near the ruck who weren't kind of like was kind of outmatched. He slips through as he's getting tackled. One of the Ratima was running on his support line. Just a little pop ball to him, goes in under the sticks for the Chiefs. And at this point, it's looking like Chiefs is backing with Rich. 10 minutes to go, 10 points behind. But the Crusaders wanted to put the knife in the Chiefs' body, just get that final twist. They had a penalty at this point, 72 minutes in. Could have taken the 3 points and put the reach to be 13 instead of 10-point gap. Could have made it 13 points gap. Means Chiefs have scored 2 tries to win the game, 2 converted tries to win the game. Instead of taking the 3 to just putting the Chief in a really difficult position, the Crusaders decides to kind of just get that final twist of the knife in there and end the game. They put the ball out for the line out and they set up that classic Crusaders maul. Now this maul was did split a little bit, fall apart a little bit. Not really as tidy as it used to be, but it doesn't matter. Cody Taylor, one of the most experienced hooker in the world, executes that maul, finished off that maul perfectly, goes through the middle, darts the ball down for a try, and that really kind of put the nail in the coffin for the Chiefs to not be able to catch up. 17 points difference. I think, was it 17-point difference at this point? No. So yeah, Rich Mwanga missed the conversion, but yeah, it was really put the nail in the coffin. More than 2 converted try ahead of the Chiefs now, and yeah, that's the way the game ended. 19 points to 34. Crusaders showing the Chiefs have not yet, despite the media talking about it, have not yet taken the reins as the king of New Zealand rugby yet. So yeah, let me know your thoughts, guys, on this game. It was quite I thought this was I thought this game was a little bit, compared to last year's game, it was a little bit less tidier than the previous year, but still was entertaining regardless. With the fans back, definitely brought some atmosphere, and it definitely felt like the stake was a little bit higher with the fans back. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on this game, guys. Thank you for watching this video. I'll see you guys a bit later and have a nice weekend. Cheers.